U.S. Army paratroopers drop into Australia for Talisman Sabre 2025, Massive War Games unveiled. The U.S. Army's bold leap into Australia, a game-changer in military exercises. Townsville, Australia. In a stunning display of military prowess, U.S. paratroopers made a remarkable entrance into Australia as part of Exercise Talisman Sabre 2025. After a grueling 14.5-hour non-stop flight from Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson in Alaska, these soldiers parachuted from the night sky into the Australian landscape on July 14. Colonel Brian Weightman, who commands the 2nd Infantry Brigade Combat Team, Airborne, of the U.S. Army's 11th Airborne Division, shared his excitement with Defense News during an interview in Townsville, stating, "We landed right on the X." He proudly noted that he was the first to jump onto the designated drop zone. In operations like these, it's common to anticipate casualties of up to 10%. However, Weightman expressed confidence in the mission's success, saying, "We're very comfortable with that if we land and 90% of the force is able to continue on." Fortunately, this nighttime airdrop resulted in only 3 minor injuries, one of which occurred due to a midair parachute entanglement in the darkness. The 6,800-mile journey was just the beginning of the unit's simulated joint forcible entry operation. After landing, the paratroopers from the 3rd Battalion, 509th Parachute Regiment, affectionately known as 3 Geronimo, marched over 30 miles to secure an urban target near Townsville in northern Queensland. To be able to do that with real violence and at speed is really impressive, and I think it should scare adversaries, Weightman remarked, emphasizing the effectiveness of their operation. The mission was supported by 6 C-17A Globemaster III aircraft, 4 from the U.S. Air Force and 2 from Australia, transporting 323 American paratroopers along with a dozen German soldiers. French troops joined the operation upon their arrival in Australia. The C-17s also delivered heavy equipment, including HMMWVs, to support the troops on the ground. Harnessing technology for enhanced operations. Weightman highlighted the significant technological advancements that facilitated this operation. He enjoyed continuous communication with higher headquarters through voice, data, and video from his aircraft. This high-bandwidth connectivity is crucial, as it enhances situational awareness and provides a clearer understanding of the battlefield. "You're able to really paint a much better picture of the enemy," he explained. Moreover, he noted, to be able to directly deliver an infantry battalion with its command that is situationally aware and physically optimized onto a drop zone 7,000 miles away means that you can really go anywhere in the world. When asked if nighttime parachute jumps present additional challenges, Weightman confidently replied, "For us, it's not much more. You know, we own the night, so once we get on the drop zone, we have an asymmetric advantage against our adversaries." Talisman Sabre aims to demonstrate interoperability among Allied forces, a concept that Weightman acknowledges is easy to talk about but hard to do. He emphasized that nighttime jumps showcase the highest level of proficiency in military operations. After regrouping in Townsville, over 400 American paratroopers were set to join 100 German and 36 French soldiers for another nighttime jump on July 21, this time at Shoalwater Bay in central Queensland. Weightman described this airfield seizure and expanded lodgement as classic airborne infantry operations, stating, "It's the bread and butter of the airborne infantry." The 11th Airborne Division is home to 2 of the U.S. Army's 5 airborne brigades. The 1st Brigade is a mobile combat brigade equipped with infantry squad vehicles, while the 2nd Brigade specializes in airborne operations. When asked about the unique capabilities of his division, Weightman pointed out 2 key aspects: the ability to deploy anywhere in the Indo-Pacific region and their specialized Arctic mission. "We're the only brigades in the world that have the ability to conduct offensive operations in the Arctic," he stated, highlighting the versatility of his troops, who can operate effectively in both Arctic climates and the subtropical environment of Australia. The future of airborne operations, a controversial perspective. In light of recent military events, such as Russia's airmobile operation at Hostomel Airport during its invasion of Ukraine, which ended poorly, Defense News inquired whether airborne units still hold relevance on modern battlefields. Weightman firmly asserted, I would argue, yes. And as I'm looking from the enemy's perspective, what we're able to do would absolutely scare me if I was the enemy of our country. The Indo-Pacific region is fraught with tensions, particularly concerning China, Taiwan, and the Korean Peninsula. Weightman affirmed that the 11th Airborne Division is prepared to conduct offensive, defensive, stability, or expeditionary operations. When asked about the escalating threat from China, he clarified, we're not training against a specific adversary. What we're training to do is to be interoperable with our allies and partners in the Indo-Pacific. However, he added, if we're able to do that in mass power from anywhere to anywhere at scale, then we should be able to beat any adversary and keep the Indo-Pacific region open. This exercise marked the 11th iteration of Talisman Sabre, involving over 40,000 troops from 19 nations. Gordon Arthur, an Asia correspondent for Defense News, has spent 2 decades working in Hong Kong and now resides in New Zealand. He has participated in military exercises and defense exhibitions across approximately 20 countries in the Asia-Pacific region. U.S. Marines and Australian Army test SM-6 anti-ship missile in Talisman Sabre exercise. In a groundbreaking display of military prowess, U.S. Marines and Australian Army units joined forces with the U.S. Army to successfully sink a cargo ship at sea using a Standard Missile-6 launched from the Typhoon missile system. This historic event took place during the Talisman Sabre exercise in Australia, as revealed in recent details shared by the Marines. The Marine Rotational Force Darwin 25.3 Marine Air Ground Task Force, MAGTF, mobilized on the ground in Australia's Northern Territory, while MV-22B Ospreys from Marine Medium Tiltrotor Squadron, VMM, 363 took to the skies to support the July 16 live-fire exercise. The U.S. Army demonstrated remarkable precision by hitting a maritime target with a portable launcher. The exercise, which included the Australian Army's 5th/7th Battalion, Royal Australian Regiment, 57RR, aimed to replicate a joint littoral maneuver in a contested region. Colonel Jason C. Armas, commanding officer of MRFD 25.3, emphasized the significance of the operation. We validated mobile command and control at scale, integrating joint and multinational fire assets to apply decisive combat power at a time and place of our choosing. That's how MRFD operates as a stand-in force, lethal, agile, and always ready to act alongside allies and partner forces. The Marines and Australian forces played crucial roles in securing firing areas and ensuring airspace was clear for the Typhoon launch. This live-fire event marked the first time the Army's 3rd Multi-Domain Task Force, MDTF, tested a containerized missile launcher, derived from the Navy's 41 Malawian Quachas launchers, outside the U.S. Prior to the firing, U.S. Marines from MRFD's Marine Air Control Group, MACG, 38 meticulously deconflicted and cleared the airspace around the multi-domain live-fire corridors. The target, a cargo ship equipped with an active emitter to mimic a hostile maritime radar signature, was identified during this phase. Intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance assets, including U.S. Navy P-8A Poseidon aircraft and Allied Special Operations Forces, provided real-time data to the U.S. Army and the mobile MRFD MAGTF Combat Operations Center, COC, leading up to the strike. Meanwhile, a combined U.S. Marine Corps and Australian Defence Force, ADF, team approached from the north via ground convoys and Ospreys to secure positions near the joint and combined fire assets in the Northern Territory. In a demonstration of interoperability, the two nations conducted an air delivery ground refueling operation, where Ospreys reverse-pumped aviation fuel to the Australian Army reconnaissance helicopters, ARH, Tigers. This showcased the interchangeability of fueling capabilities between aircraft. Simultaneously with the live-fire execution, U.S. Marines with the Logistics Combat Element, LCE, moved south, delivering fuel and logistics packages to support the follow-on force projection of MRFD's Ground Combat Element, GCE, and sustainment of 57RR's forces upon their arrival at the training area. The Marines Combat Operations Center also successfully transported the MRFD MAGTF commander and utilized a small team of cyber, intelligence, fires, and communications Marines to ensure the commander's ability to make timely decisions on the move while remaining undetected. The command center, built around ruggedized civilian trucks and a camper van retrofitted with advanced equipment, enabled command and control of the battlespace from any location. We executed this operation across the